Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into a very special edition of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans for Season 2027, Round 5 this evening out at Virginia International Raceway. We're in for the Split 2 action tonight of our ANZAC Day Round. We're live across both Infinity Broadcasting and the V8 Veterans YouTube channels as well. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher as always, and Brett, it's always a wonderful time when we get to go racing, not only around ANZAC Day, but we have the absolute honour this year of being able to broadcast at ANZAC Day as well. And this is one of my most favourite events that we ever get to do. VIR is often a track that turns it on for great racing as well. And to this point of the season, across the past 4 rounds, it's been absolute chaos. We've had multiple different winners this season. Could we see another different one here tonight?
You never know. Time will tell. Look, we keep talking about the pressure cooker, and I'll tell you what, he's definitely on. Things are happening and bubbling away, and it's simmering, and things are going to rise to the top and things are going to fall to the bottom. But it is an incredibly special day today. I did actually get up and go to the ANZAC Dawn Memorial thingy-jig bobs to do today, and it was sensationally mudgy. Heaps and heaps of people out there, which was fantastic to see.
Well, of course, let us know out there if you yourselves went to the dawn service this morning out in the YouTube chat, of course, across both channels as well. We'd love to hear from you and hear if that was a part of your day and a part of your morning. Of course, I spent my day today watching some of the football, then also getting prepared for the broadcast tonight as well, and really just enjoying my Saturday at home, apart from about an hour that I went out today to go do something. But let's have a good look at the points before we give a quick preview into the track as well. Of course, tonight we're racing out at VIR, 200 kilometres, 38 laps available to us. The interesting part about tonight's race is, Brett, the drivers have only got 2 tyre sets to race through the whole race with. So that means they start on 1 and they have 1 extra that they can selectively apply in pit lane. Majority of the time, the best chance to do that is through the second CPS of the race, but it really changes up the strategy. It really puts a lot of onus on actually pre-planning your race ahead and choosing what is going to be the better choice. Initial tank of fuel could only get you to lap 11, critical lap is lap 8. So you're wanting to probably pit within those first 7 laps, and I would argue more than likely first stops should be your shortest stop to get you to the halfway point of the race and really split the race in 2 on those 2 tyre sets across the way.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what cards people play tonight and see how they fall on the track and all sorts of stuff. As I said, it's going to be an interesting track tonight, and looking forward to the race. I mean, we haven't been let down. The first 4 races so far have been pretty exciting. Are we going to see a really exciting race tonight, or are we going to see something a bit yawny? I don't know. I think we're going to see something exciting.
I think we will as well, and I think there'll be battles all throughout the field. And the championship battle, well, it's really heated up. We've now included a drop round in our rolling championship standings for the season, but it hasn't changed who the championship leader is now. Gary Buckland's to the top on 543 points. What it has changed is who's in P2. Roy Clark, who's been incredibly sneaky this season and getting some very consistent and top-end finishes. He sits P2 in the championship ahead of Chris Blanchard, the previous championship leader. Brenton O'Brien, who currently sits with the most average positions gained throughout this season, he's up in 4th position ahead of Scott Weston. We then have Stephen Kokoschke ahead of Brett Horsell, Ben Brook, Brett Taylor and Andrew Galley. Makes up our top 10 at this stage. There's a couple of drivers further down the order that we wouldn't normally be seeing down the order in a regular season, the likes of Halil Cesar, yourself, Brett, who's had some good top 10 finishes in championship orders, Bruce Tannick as well. But I think when we reorganise it with 2 drop rounds included, that's going to reshuffle it again. And I think that's really going to show us where the real cream is rising to the top. I mean, I look to drivers like Michael Schreier or even Michael Jones, who should gain some good spots when they have lost another drop round next to their name.
Yeah, and we did talk about Jones earlier in the pre-broadcast chat that we were having. You know, it'll be interesting to see. You know, he's had those few little hiccups with his pit strat and things like that. If he can get all that sorted out, he is flying. So needs to get a couple of things sorted out there. And as you said, there's some names throughout this pack, throughout this series that you'd sort of expect to be a bit higher up than they are. So are we going to see some resurgence in the second half of this series?
Well, we'll see if there can be some resurgence. There's going to be some tough challenges along the second half of the season, of course. We look to Long Beach next week, Coda the week after, as well to the likes of Fuji, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and Adelaide Street Circuit at season's end as well. Those are going to be some big tests all throughout the majority or the rest of this season as well. The starting grid for tonight's race will be as follows. It's going to be Stephen Kokoschke starting on pole ahead of Darryl Callahan in behind him on the front row of the grid. To row 2, we will then find Michael Jones alongside Bruce Tannick for the top 4. Row 3, we then look back to Chris Blanchard and Halil says a couple of those ANZAC Day liveries will be looking to show off here tonight. They'll start together on the 3rd row of the grid. To row 4, we find ourselves with Chad Viger and yourself, Brett Fisher, inside of the top 10. Where has this come from? Talk about a resurgence. Top 8 start for yourself, Brett. That's a great qualifying to get yourself up there. To row 5 in the top 10, we find Tony Chapman and Andrew Hoffman of SCR making up our top 10 here this evening. To row 6 in the top 12, we find Dave Duddle and Scott Weston alongside each other. To row 7, we then find the top 14 made up of Ron Allen and Paul Burns alongside each other as well. To row 8, we then find Rick Viger and Brett Horsell starting inside of the top 16. To row 9, and for the top 18, we find Ben Brook and Abel Verben for P18 here this evening. The top 20 on the 10th row, we find Roy Clark and Gary Buckland, the championship leader. Not the qualifying that he would have hoped for, Brett. That is arguably incredibly disappointing for Gary to be lining up there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and just, like seeing some of those names as you're calling them through. Just surprising to see him so far back in the pack on the starting grid there. Yeah. But things happen on track, and we'll see where all the dice roll, and it all settles at the end of the race. But I'm sure there'll be some surprises and things like that as we go through.
I'm sure we will too. The 11th row of the grid in the top 22, we find Nathan Pavero and Matty Monday starting alongside each other for the top 22. Row 12 in behind them, we have James Boardman and Jamie Peters for the top 24 cars as well. In behind them to row 13, it's Andrew Galley and Brenton O'Brien for the top 26. To row 14, we find Mick Clifton starting alongside Jeremy Bush for the top 28 cars. Row 15, and the top 30 is made up by Scott McCune and Andrew Listener here this evening. Row 16, in behind them, we have Todd Duggan starting alongside Yusuf Corfiadis for the top 32. Into row 17, it's Brett Taylor and Pete Baxter alongside each other as well. Row 18 here this evening, we have Derek Lovegrove at the back end of the field as well. Jake Burton took the helm of race control this week alongside Split 3 race band driver Wayne Shepherd on board the safety car, and our regular race controller of Sean Vandermeulen is back there as well, and there was no one else on the grid past that. So it's always exciting. It's always a fun time whenever we get to go racing around about ANZAC Day. And, well, it's an exciting time for us once again. And I'm very, very pleased and honoured to welcome alongside us fellow Split 2 driver, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Baxter, CSC of the Royal Australian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, to read us the Ode of Remembrance and lead us for the last post.
Good evening, Hamish. Thanks for having me. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
Well, revs are about to begin rising here at Virginia International Raceway. We're in for the 5th round of season 27. It's the 2026 ANZAC Day Round for the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans as well. If you're just joining us, Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher. A massive thank you to our good friend Lieutenant Colonel Peter Baxter, CSC, of the Royal Australian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Revs are up though. Green flag's about to drop for ANZAC Day 2026. It is underway and a great start from the front runners. A lot of scrambling already in the mid-pack. But Brett, it's hot and heavy early down towards turn one as Callahan has taken the lead.
Yeah, great start there. Kokoschka on the inside, a little bit of rubbing there. Are they going to get through clean? Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Jones, I think.
It was Jones who's caught up in a bit of a sandwich.
Panic on the inside.
There. Oh, contact's made. Jones goes round. Doesn't hold the brakes. Back in front of the traffic. Lucky not to make contact. Could have been unbelievably close there as we run it through turn 5 for the first time. Can we keep it tidy as cars are getting heavy here? Look at that. Thurman on the outside. 3 wide. Contact's made. It was bound to happen. And they're still back on the track and more contact made with other cars down there as well.
Oh, big hit there.
Oh my God, unbelievable. You see there, that's Corfiatis. Boardman's gone round as well. I think that's Duggan too. A couple of drivers are already caught out. The early storm of contendership is on here at VIR and ANZAC Day Honours, but Kokoschki back in the race lead on the back straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, no safety car yet, so they all must have got away cleanly there. Well, when I say cleanly, tongue-in-cheek there, but Kokoschki now got a great little launch out there, and he's ploughing away there.
On over the rise through the roller coaster for the very first time. Daryl Callahan on his heels. Got to keep an eye on Bruce Tunnock tonight as well. We know he can be aggressive, and he's going to be quick tonight too. This could be an all-time battle if it comes down to Kokoschki and Tunnock at the front end. We could be in for something special here if those two decide to turn it on. As lap 2's about to begin, it's Kokoschki to Callahan and Tunnock on the podium at the moment.
Looks like they must have got all those cars cleaned up, and they must have been got away, so because there's no safety car at this stage. So it's put a bit of a spread on the field, a little bit through. So you can see probably about 2-3 large packs and then a few smaller packs that are fighting away there.
You can see as well, Paul Burns starting to get pressured here from Ron Allen. Brett Horsell in behind him as well. Good battling here further back with Matty Monday ahead of Bush and Taylor and Peters as well. Taylor having a great season, finds himself inside of the top 10. And currently, Brett, second placed in that battle for the Brett's Championship with yourself and Brett Horsell.
Yeah. So, Battle of the Bretts has been a bit more subdued for myself this season, but we'll see what we can do. Some great looking liveries out there at the moment, honouring our Anzacs.
Of course.
So we'll peel our way through the pack at some stage, and we'll see see them on track. But there's some fantastic work out there, honouring our previous generations and things like that of military and all sorts of stuff. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here.
Service, honouring those servicemen and women who not only have still with us, but are also no longer with us as well. And to those, obviously, especially who gave the ultimate sacrifice for both Australia and New Zealand at times of war as well. Brett Horsell at the moment, currently P11. He started back in P16, so not a bad start from him. Gained a few spots off that scramble, and just outside the top 10 now behind Ron Allen and Paul Burns, doing well.
And even Roy Clark, he's up 7 at the moment too. He's probably one of the biggest games with Mick Clifton up 11 so far. So there's been some definite benefactors. Brett Taylor also up 11. Scotty McCune up 9. So there has been some... now, Brett Horsell in for pit lane, as we just see. But there has been some big benefactors and also some big losses out of that first lap melee.
Well, that's right. Of course, as well, Bretton O'Brien, as we mentioned, average most positions gained this season due to the fact that he hasn't had the qualifying pace to match his racecraft and race pace at times as well. He's already up 9 positions tonight. Will he hit the double digits? Well, it's almost becoming a question of similar to, will Nick Dacos or Marcus Bontempelli get 30-plus disposals when they play a game of football? That's what it's coming down to right now. You almost feel it's a guarantee that O'Brien can get those double-digit positions all throughout these races. But we do know, Brett, that racing can often at times be hairy, it can be ugly, and it can be mean. And it just takes one unlucky moment to ruin that run for Brenton in terms of points gains and position gains as well throughout the season. There's an Andrew Galley on his heels right now. Of course, for Shadow Racing, Andrew's had some fairly decent runs this season, good points hauls as well. But at this point in time, Gary Buckland is making a charge to the front of the field. He's just gotten past Mick Clifton down at Oak Tree. Now finds himself inside of the top 15. The championship leader, if he wants to maintain that championship lead, he needs either A, Chris Blanchard not to finish so far up the order comparatively to him, or B, he needs to try and get up the order and finish closer to Blanchard, who's currently up inside the top 5.
And as we talked about earlier, some of these drivers are a little bit out of place at the moment, further down the pack than they would have liked to. Not getting as good a qualifying, but they're going to be coming through the pack, and no doubt their strats are going to work in their favours as much as possible.
Well, there's going to be a few differing strategies tonight, of course, with that one tyre change available. As just mentioned, Clark in, Clifton in as well. Brett, he's just followed Roy into pit lane. Differing strategies tonight we're going to see. Well, we're going to see a couple of drivers more than likely pitting before that critical lap of lap 8, putting enough fuel in to get them to roughly halfway race distance and then changing their tyres at the halfway. and taking their bigger fill at that point. That strategy relies on this race staying green flag until that second pit stop. They do not want that first stop to be a yellow flag stop, otherwise it's going to ruin any track position they would be hoping to get by coming in earlier and taking a shorter fill. The undercut tonight is going to be very strong because the pit lane is slow and it's long. And depending on how drivers balance their pit stops tonight could really affect where they end up, because if you come out in traffic, it can be a death sentence here. If you, for whatever reason, make a mistake in pit lane, it can be a disaster. So you've got to be pinpoint accurate with your strategy throughout this race, and you've got to be pinpoint accurate across the whole race in terms of the planning of that strategy. And there's a little bit of luck involved too. You don't exactly know if your strategy is going to play off in your favour. You can definitely do things that will help mitigate that. The one luck factor though in that strategy, as I said though, is if there is a safety car when it's called. If it's called by that first pit stop, you've almost got to flip the strategy, but you can't afford to take the shorter stop then, because you're just going to get chewed up in the next stop when all those heavy fillers take their short fill later in the race.
So just watching Tanik in the background, breathing down the neck of Callahan. He's closed that gap right up. It's only 0.3 of a second now. So just keep an eye on him for a move at any point here. Behind Tanik is Blanchard with Cesar and Chad Viger. Not that far away behind. Having a little bit of a poke up the inside there. Deciding to opt out just at that point. But definitely one to watch there.
Tanik sits with the fastest lap of the race at the moment, a 1:48.86. He did that the last lap by, so not this last time over the line, but the time before, as he wants it up the inside at turn 4. He can't quite get there on Callahan, so you can see that Tanik is hungry to make moves. And this is proving right now to me, Brett, that Tanik tonight has the more consistent pace over Callahan, who maybe had a better one-lap pace in qualifying and may just struggle to put those laps together consistently. I think the main thing is tonight, the drivers that are going to do well, the drivers that are going to finish up the order, they're going to be the ones that can not only do those consistent quick lap times, but actually maintain their tyres doing those lap times. They're the keys to victory tonight. Is you've got to maintain your tyres, you've got to maintain your pace. You look at Kikoshi, Callahan, you look at guys like Cesar, even to Chad Viger at times as well. Those are the guys, and Gary Buckland, those are the guys that can control their tyre wear but maintain those quicker lap times. So they're going to be the ones to watch this evening.
And just as you mentioned tyre wear and things like that, we're seeing Tanik come out of Oak Tree, getting the car sideways, and that's going to hurt his run a little bit there.
Speaking of runs, Brett, you're on a sprint right now. You're tucked up right behind Scotty Weston.
Yeah.
Put a bit of pressure on him here into the roller coaster.
Yep. And there's I was going to mention before, like there's a number of sections on this track that you really have to nail, and if you don't nail them, as Scotty Weston comes in the pit lane, and Chad Viger as well, and if you don't nail them, it really kills your run down some of these longer sort of sections of the track. So you've really got to try and maximise your exits, and not get tripped up on some of these little twisty bits as well.
So I think the pressure game that these guys are playing right now by coming in on this lap is, depending on how short their stop is going to depend if they come out in tight traffic, because not everyone is pitted. And all those other cars that did pit on lap 2 and lap 3, are they going to be tightly together? Well, there's only one tight together pack, and that's Brooke and Listener, who are further down the order. So that traffic's going to be pretty well key, as Monday actually I think just served a drive-through, so that might be for one of those lap 1 incidents possibly. But he's just driven straight through pit lane. Viger comes out at the head of the pack that actually did do stops in that run as well. Hoffman, Duddle having a tight battle here with the oncoming Gary Buckland, the championship leader, behind them at this stage. And Hoffy's had some decent runs this season. The one race probably to forget was Road America, but he has had some outshining performances, especially at Bathurst, which saw him take some solid points on the day. Probably his best drive that I've seen from him in a long, long time, and he'll be hoping for a similar performance here tonight, and possibly getting himself inside the top 10 once again, and maybe get himself in the top 10 in the championship once again as well, Brett, because now that we've had that one drop round, he's actually been knocked out just below the top 10 marker, so he may have a little bit of work to do to try and get himself back up there and fighting with the top 10 runners.
Yeah, well, with Duddle and Buckland behind Hoffman at the moment, Duddle looked like he just had a little bit of a look. He's got a little bit of damage on the right-hand side of that car. Maybe suffering from the earlier incident as we see Cesar come into pits.
Yep, so Halil Cesar in. He was tucked in behind Christopher Blanchard. Now the key driver we got to watch as Hoffman's in is Chad Viger, who was tucked up behind Cesar on that last stop. So Viger's stop was a 25.84. Says to me it's roughly about a split stop. So I think he's probably taken roughly 58 or so litres in that stop, Brett. That's what it looks like to me. That looks like the majority of the field has taken that sort of strategy. Some drivers have taken a shorter fill. Others have taken a bigger fill. Cesar has taken a shorter fill.
16.9.
Yep, so he's taken a short fill to maintain track position. That's going to give him a great gap back to Chad Viger. So there should be no pressure on the back of Cesar now. He's got no one in front of him. Watch for him to push on now and chase down a little bit of gap to those cars that are yet to come into pit lane.
Vero in pits.
Yep.
Jones in pits as well.
And I wouldn't expect we saw Boardman have that contact earlier. He may just be trying to get this car fixed up. Hopefully he had the fast repair tick, but if this stops, well, it's already longer than his teammates, so I actually think he might be doing optionals right now, maybe to hold on to that fast repair for later in the race. Let's see how that pans out. As Cesar looks to break away.
Tannick has actually Tannick has got past Callahan here, so we missed that move, but he's closed up the gap between Kokoschki and himself, 0.5 a second. Callahan is still in the toe, well, not the toe because there was not much toe here, but let's face it, the toe's got about as good as a toe on your hand, really.
It's got about as much toe as a pinky toe, Brett. There's not much.
Not much at all.
Yeah.
But Callahan's still in contact in this top three pack at the moment. Burns in pit lane now.
Yeah, Paul Burns comes in. So does Dave Duddle as well. So.
Yeah.
You see a bit of damage on the front of that car actually coming into pit lane, so the 266 entry of Duddle has made some contact somewhere throughout the process of this race. Both those drivers
might have been
into
part
the lane.
Of that early melee. He was slow to get him across to his pit bay then too.
It's like he was almost distracted by something maybe as he was coming into pit lane. Brett Horsell.
Oh, look, a squirrel.
Brett Horsell tucked up tightly behind Andrew Hoffman at the moment. Mick Clifton's just in behind Andrew Galley as well. So we are getting these tighter packs of cars battling away. Boardman and Duggan tightly together as well as they look to come onto the back stretch here. We're just below lap 10 here. We're on lap 8 at this stage. So we're nearly at what would be a quarter of the way into this race as Boardman looks to line this up on Duggan down towards the roller coaster. He looks to be alongside him before the braking zone. Can he get the job done on the inside? There's a little bit of door banging between them. Boardman is ahead. Is he going to be able to hold on to it, though? Through the coaster, he runs it wide. Got a bit overzealous on the brakes, and Duggan gets it back.
Wow, he did all that work and just couldn't pull it off. I mean, that was probably, that really played into a little bit of a lock up there by Clifton there. No, Duggan, sorry.
Sorry, they both end in N.
Yeah.
It was a close one. Chad Viger just launching it over that lower chicane at the uphill section. Paul Burns chasing him down with Scott Weston as well.
Kokoschki in.
Yep, race leader is into pit lane. Brett, is that you up on the tower up there just watching out for the traffic as they come into pit road? There's someone on the corner. Is that you, Brett? And you got the binoculars out?
I'm in the car.
Maybe it's Damon.
What are you talking about?
Maybe it's Damon that's up there. Who knows?
Yeah, well, he's got computer problems at the moment, so he didn't have to run on.
It'd be the Brett Fisher way to be calling out who's coming into pit lane, but it's as you're driving past pit lane. It's like, how'd you know? I saw him.
Wow.
That would be the Brett Fisher move, I reckon. Derek Lovegrove's in as well.
And let's have a look and see what Kokoschki's got. He's got 21, 22 seconds, 23, 25, 26.
So he's taking the longest stop at this stage. He hasn't
30.24.
So that works out to, I think it's between 70 and 80 litres. So he's keeping himself a shorter fill to the end. In fact, he's come out behind Halil Cesar. But there is a 14-second difference in their stop time, so that'll get fixed up. fairly swiftly.
But he's still come out in fresh air, so I mean,
has.
they're not going to be held up. And as you can see, the timing tower at the moment, there's not a lot of close racing going on. Pardon me.
And that's playing into the hands of those shorter stoppers as well,
Yeah.
because they're not getting caught out in any traffic as Todd Duggan is off the road down at the roller coaster. There's a little bit of damage on the front of that car. He was battling, we saw with James Baldwin, if you recall. I have to wonder if they may have made contact up at the roller coaster. It'll be one to watch during the post-race highlights to see if there was some contact, because they already went side by side through their one lap. Doesn't stop them from doing it the next one. But yeah, it's a great looking ANZAC Day livery on that car as well.
Oh, there's some great ANZAC liveries out there. Well done to all those that participated in the painting of the cars. Fantastic to see. All these cars running out.
The silver fern is made up of soldier silhouettes.
Yeah. It looks great, doesn't it?
That looks fantastic.
Yeah. No, really, really good.
Really, really well done. Blanchard's in the pit lane now as well, so...
With the camo paint there.
Technically, this is both a ANZAC Day livery and a retro livery, because this is based on the shape they ran for 2024 and into the start of 2025 as well for WKMP Sim Sports, as Blanchard drops
19-second stop.
3 seconds slower than Cesar's. So Cesar will jump him on the exit. So this should mean that Blanchard, if he hangs with him, will get back past him again in the next stop. Safety cars could obviously have a part to play in that as well, but it couldn't have come at a worse time for Blanchard, because he's now going to have a car ahead of him while Cesar has clean air. I would suspect, though, that Blanchard's going to be happy to work with Halil here to chase down some gap ahead of them and try and stay ahead of Stephen Kokoschki, even to maybe try and build some gap, just to get some advantage in the next run through pit lane.
So the closest battle on track at the moment we've got is, Galley and Baxter is dropping there a couple of spots, as we're watching right now. So Galley and Clifton getting past Baxter.
Well, Peter Baxter, obviously he was with us earlier to give us the ode to remembrance and leading us to the last posts as well.
Monday pits.
Matt Monday's in, yes. He gave me a message to read out for tonight's race as well, but he's also given me a little bit of backstory behind this livery for CX2 as well. So I'll read out his little livery background for him, and then I'll read through the letter that he sent me alongside it too. So the colours blue, yellow and red signify the core of the Royal Australian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, a maintenance and engineering function for the Australian Army. There is a tack sign on his rear wing end plates with 43/88, signifying the 43rd class of Army apprenticeship scheme, and his first year of service, 1988. The TAC sign runs on all of his paint. So there is a little special nod there to what his paint is for Mr. Baxter as well.
Oh, geez, get out of the grass, Pete.
Oh, yeah, get out of the grass, Pete. Don't do that. Then the letter that he wrote as well. For ANZAC Day, on behalf of those in the V8 Vets community who serve or have served, thank you to everyone in V8 Veterans who has taken the time to recognise the ANZACs through your liveries. The presentation of your cars and teams improves every year, and for many goes beyond what could have been imagined. For me, ANZAC Day is a day of reflection, not only to remember those I was close to and have now lost, but also to acknowledge the cost of service and its impact on what others may consider a normal life. The sacrifices are real. Thank you for being such a strong and respectful community, lest we forget. So a big thank you there to Pete Baxter. He ended it with Lieutenant Colonel Peter Baxter, CSC, retired, 34 years of service in the Royal Australian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, and Iraq veteran as well. So thank you to Peter for sending me that message, and for joining us early tonight too for reading the ode to remembrance as well. I think the fact that we were able to get a retired service member of the Vets community to read it out made it that little bit more special. So that was really
the band
cool.
in pits. And here we go, Pete Baxter in pits too.
Yeah, Bruce Tannick as well.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry,
Bruce Tannick's in. Darryl Callahan in as well.
Still riding with Pete.
No, I made the move once I finished reading out the letter, but that's okay.
Well done. Callahan pits
Brett
and
Fisher as
in
well.
pits.
Well, see, Brett, maybe you are the person that's up there. So taking a photo of your car, Brett, that's definitely you.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. Gary Buckland comes past, so he's able to go a lap longer on this fuel, so he's probably done a little bit of saving all throughout this stint. As Gary Buckland, same can be said for Brenton O'Brien, and we know that Brenton can save fuel up the wazoo, so he's saving a bit of fuel right now, is Mr. O'Brien. Of course, special look at his paint job here this evening as well, of course, with the Australian kangaroo symbol on the side of his car. Team sponsorship up there as well, and a very simple colouring and pattern job here to represent, of course, Army vehicles and stuff like that. So it's a nice, sleek design, Brett. And I actually think that if you did this up with some sponsors all over it, it actually look pretty sharp as a regular season livery, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good look for ERT Evolution Racing Team. Gary Buckland as well as McCune's in for Old Mate and Sons. You see there the adjustment to their regular shaped livery with the image of warfare on the side of the car, the ANZAC crest on the bonnet as well. It's a nice, clean and sharp looking paint job for Old Mate and Sons here this weekend. The less we forget on the front lip of the top of the car as well. It looks very, very nice. But if for Gary, I mean, championship leader, he's got some work to do now in this mid part of the season, Brett. He cannot afford to let up at this stage of the season. He's got to try and put it all together now throughout the next few weeks. I think ultimately for Gary, he's got to concentrate on Long Beach and Coda to maintain some performance, get a couple of podiums or even some top fives, and set himself up well for the final 3 rounds at Fuji, the Nürburgring and Adelaide as well. If he wants to win the title, he needs to make sure he performs at this mid-season. Yep.
There you go. So we'll see very shortly with Gary, and still got Brent O'Brien and Jamie Peters to come and do their pit stop, or their first pit stop of one of 2. One set of tyres also only for tonight. So 2 sets. You start on a set of tyres and you only get one set for during the race. So you only one set. Where are you going to use them? We talked about that earlier. It's probably best to use them in the second stop. You know, just making sure you tick all the boxes and things like that. As we see everybody now almost completed their
Everyone has done
first
a
stops.
CPS. Everyone has now done a single CPS in this race. We are past the critical lap as well. Halil Cesar has now taken the race lead, so he'll get himself a bonus point for leading a lap here, Brett. At maximum, with it only being a 16.9 second stop, probably only enough to get him to lap 19. So he's not going to be able to go incredibly far to take most laps led, but he will at least be able to take away some laps from other drivers who may try and take that crown here this evening.
Did Gary Buckland just have Jamie Peters was exiting pits? Looked like Gary Buckland just he flashed up red there for a second, so he might have a little bit of an off there.
I'm not sure. I'm not getting anything on the reading saying that he has had an off track, but maybe we'll look back on that, Brett, and we'll see.
As I said, I just noticed he flashed up red there for a second, so I wonder whether he's had a bit of an oopsie there somewhere.
Mick Clifton as well in behind Andrew Galley. They're just there to Scott McCune now as they battle in the mid-pack. No safety cars just yet here, Brett, so we've kept it mean and green, as would be a nice way to describe this track. Of course, it's basically a giant paddock that has got some tarmac drawn onto it like a 3-year-old drew it. But what it's turned into is it's a great racetrack for race viewing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know this track has a lot of fans in terms of driving this track. I'm not one of them in particular, but I will give it its plaudits. It gives us great racing to call. I will say that. It gives us some great racing. Ultimately, though, this race is going to heat up towards the back end because we're kind of at the mid-stage of the race, getting into the mid-stage of the race. This is where drivers are going to start to save their tyres that little bit more, so we're not going to see as much pushing. So we're more likely going to have what we would normally call a lull period at this stage of the race than any other, because drivers are trying to keep the cars on the track, keep the tyres under them as well, and maintain some fuel in these cars too. So this is now going to be sort of the process of, this is a strategic race. This is a race that's going to be won in pit lane. It's not going to be a race that's necessarily won on the circuit.
And just talking about that, Hamish, too, he's just flash up the pit stop times we've been talking about during this race. But if you flash up the times, you can see the varied amount of time that we've got people in pit. So that is all going to equalise out once we get our second round of pits done. And that'll bring the field closer together in certain spots. So now they're fairly well spread out. There's a little pack. There's a couple of guys close together, but there's a little pack, Alan Buckland, Hoffman, Horsell, and then there's a couple back further. But the pack is incredibly well spread out at the moment. But there is a massive variance of time that was spent in pit lane.
Well, I would show it, Brett, but actually my tower is actually frozen. It's frozen to the screen. So
Righto.
I'm just going to reload it.
Okay.
I
thought you might have been.
Funnily enough, it is actually showing the data correctly, but it's not showing the graphic correctly. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we'll see if I can get this sorted. I don't want to have to
I
close
thought
it,
you
though,
might have been
'cause
struggling.
Well, if I close
that's all right.
it's going to get rid of the post-race highlights because we're going to lose the first 12 laps of replay.
Oh,
So
look,
I
don't worry about
that.
it. It's just, look, don't worry about it. But I'm going to say, look, pardon me, I'll just give you a quick readout of a few anyway. So Cesar, 16.9 seconds. Blanchard, 19 seconds. Marcel, 14 seconds. Bruce Tannick, 28 seconds. 30 seconds for Kokoschke. 28 seconds for Callahan. 25 for Vigor Burns. 22. Scotty Weston, 24. 24 for Clark. 24 for Viger Rick. 18 for Brent O'Brien. 25 for Duddle. Ron Allen, 34. Gary Buckland, Andrew Hoffman. Gary Buckland just getting past Ron Allen then. But as you said, there's a lot of times all over the shop, and that's why we've got that field so spread out at the moment. That once we complete our second stops, the field will normalise to somewhat, depending on how their mid race has gone, and we'll see a lot closer towards the end here, and we're going to get some battling going on. Not that we've got no battling going on now, and Hamish he's lost the whole thing now anyway.
No, it's all turned off on the screen at the moment. I'm just trying to get that sorted for us at this stage, but we've still got some great racing on the screen though, and still running along with us as well. So that's always a bonus for us here for V8 Veterans. We're still able to get the racing happening once again. Chad Viger has got some tight battling happening here with Darryl Callahan behind as well. For whatever reason, the safety car driver is sitting on board the safety car at the end of pit lane is Wayne Shepherd. I'm unsure why he's sitting there, maybe anticipating some action or call to action tonight, but he's just sitting there at this stage.
He's poised, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the iRacing guy sitting right behind him going, what are you doing, mate? So biggest movers at the moment, in the top 15, we've got Brent O'Brien up 14 spots. But as I'm saying, this is going to normalise to some degree once we see our next stops going, ooh, that was a little bit of a slide there.
Just a slight slide for Alan Cesar. He continues to push here at the front of the field. It's re-attempt number 3 now to reload the standings for us on the on the broadcast. I'm going back to the old way of doing it now, Brett, so we're going to see if this works instead of doing the new way. All right. Let's see if that brings it up for us. We'll find out eventually if it shows up on the screen. It's not giving me a no data thing though, which is good. So that means it's not actually unloaded. It just means that it's not actually applying for whatever reason. So we'll see. At this stage, though, Halil Cesar leads the way to Chris Blanchard, Brett Fisher, Bruce Tannick, Stephen Kokoschke inside of the top 5. Darryl Callahan, Chad Viger, Paul Burns, Roy Clark and Scott Weston makes up the top 10, battling just ahead of Rick Viger at this stage of the race. Brenton O'Brien, Dave Duddle, Gary Buckland, Ron Allen make up the top 15. Hoffman, Horsell, Galley, Clifton, McCune, the top 20. Baxter, Peters, Taylor, Brook, Lovegrove, the top 25, Listener, Favero, Jones, Corfiadis, Boardman, the top 30, Chapman, Verben, Duggan, Monday, Bush, the top 35 cars on the grid here tonight. And there is your timing tower verbally here this evening at a VIR at this stage.
We've lost SDK as well, so I can't even see who you're focusing on other than the car number. So that's all right.
I have a feeling that it might be a server issue for SDK at the moment. And that's why it's not showing. Although it shouldn't be opening the program if that's how it's working. So, very helpful. SDK,
right.
Thank
we got
you.
a Viger in pit lane.
Yep, that is Mr. Chad Viger into pit road as he comes down. You know what, we're going to do something that might be considered a little bit wrong. I'm going to try and update this whilst we're going. There it is. That's what I had to do. I had to update it, so it's updating at the moment.
Righto. Right, we've got stuff happening now. Righto, we're back up, and we can see a few things that are going on. Here we go. Beautiful. We're back up. So Chad Viger in pit lane at the moment.
Yeah, so Chad Viger is in. Halil Cesar leads the way. There's Bruce Tannick, who's on the heels of yourself, Brett.
Yeah.
We are lap 17 of 38. So we are 2 laps away from the halfway point of this race, Brett. We're 2 laps away from possible pit stops occurring. Chad Viger, who's just been through pit lane, has had contact with Nathan Favero. This is big for the strategy play of some of those drivers. Remember, he was in the battle with Blanchard and Cesar for on-track position based on the timesheet. So with that contact, that's going to take him right out of that top 5 battle.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. And this is what we sort of talked about, coming out in clean air is so helpful. And when you get in amongst some of these other cars, now some of these cars, I mean, he's obviously done his second pit stop, but all of these other guys haven't yet. So they're going to be on different strats. So, yeah, it just makes it a little bit more awkward. So he's going to really have to hustle now.
Oh, Matt Monday as well has got big damage on the front of that car. That thing was not looking healthy for a moment before it reapplied itself.
Doesn't look like it's tracking all that fantastic either. So he's going to have to watch himself there. Oh, and it's gone and back again. So that's a pretty neat trick.
So Nathan's given us a little bit of backstory on the incident. Apparently, Chad, who came out of pit lane on his cold tyres, spun at turn 1 and Nathan had nowhere to go. So a real struggle street moment for both drivers down there at turn 1.
Comments from chat.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well done. Yeah.
So we expect Halil Cesar in to pit lane in the next few laps. We would expect Chris Blanchard to more than likely either follow him straight in or go a couple more laps. But I have a feeling, Brett, that Blanchard may want to come in with Cesar to guarantee that he jumps him in pit lane. He doesn't want to have to risk any chance of an undercut by Cesar getting out there on fresh tyres and able to push on compared to Blanchard, who's got that 2-second advantage right now in pit lane.
Yeah, and once all of these, like we talked about before, once all these other second pit stops happen, we're going to see how the field is actually landing and see who's going to be threatening for what. Once that's all done, it'll be all sort of status quo back to where we were. We'll see who's got an advantage, but I'm riding with Cesar, but there's still Bruce Tannick's still on the back of myself there. Weston on the rear of Clark. He's sort of chasing down. You're not going to pass me, Bruce.
You came straight into pit
not on
lane
the track
then,
anyway.
Brett, and you were just like, no, you're not going to come past me. I'm coming into pit road. Scott Weston, of course, running the EWT ANZAC Day livery here this evening as well. Some good imagery on that one in terms of messages and appreciations as well. I believe the Ode to Remembrance is actually on the bonnet of this car, going down towards the Chevrolet badge. So it's very nice. They do have open arms on the front of their car as well for veteran and service member counselling as well. Similarly to the Infinity Broadcasting cars, they've also got that on the front of their cars too. And it's a very important thing, of course, as well, Brett, that we help our service members, either previous or current service members, helping get them the support that they need. And Open Arms is a great place that does that and really helps support them too. So, if you are out there and you're struggling as a former service member or even a current service member too, get in contact with Open Arms here in Australia and try and get involved with them if you can. So they'll be there to help you, and they'll be there to help you get to where you want to be in terms of mental and as well physical too. So big shout out to
listener Brooke and Favero in pit lane. So I'm assuming they're doing their second stops.
Yep. Nice and simple ANZAC delivery for SCR. Straight to the point. Great messaging on that one too, of course, for ANZAC Day. And yeah, as you said, Brett, some nice imaging on that one too with the silhouettes and stuff like that. Favero in for podium as well. You see they've gone for the more keep the basis of their livery but take a slight adjustment by doing the pink camouflage on the side of it, as Cesar's in and Blanchard, as we mentioned, has followed him in. Tannick has done the same thing.
Yeah, here we go.
This is strategic for Blanchard and Tanek, you feel, that they don't want to give any of those cars an advantage on brand new green tyres,
Callahan in as well.
which are going to have significant advantage. Burns in too, which are going to have a significant advantage with grip around this place as Kokoschki takes back the race lead to Clark, Weston, Viger. Now inside of the top three, O'Brien, Duddle and co comes past. Halil Cesar. When does he drop? And when does he exit pit lane? This is going to be a hot exit here, Brett. If he can get down before Blanchard, he may be able to get out of pit lane before him as well. This is going to be tight though. Tanek's already out as we suspected. He took a longer stop on the first run.
With that. Yep.
So that's got him out of pit lane ahead of them. Cesar's dropped. Blanchard's still sat there. Why is he still sat there? He should have dropped at least 2 seconds before Cesar did. What has happened to Chris Blanchard? He's still sat there, Brett. He shouldn't have any damage. Surely not.
Has he got a penalty?
I don't think this is a penalty. I think this might be a tech issue. I have to wonder if he's come in pit lane and he's having to fix something before he actually gets on track again, because even Hoffman's jumped him.
Unfortunate. Yeah,
if Boardman jumps him, that's a massive loss and a massive drop in this field. He could have been on for a top 5 tonight if not for that.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Andrew Galley being chased down by Clifton at the moment. Clifton only about 0.1, 0.2 of a second behind him. The other one I was keeping an eye on too is O'Brien, Duddle and Buckland. That is heating up a bit at the moment as well.
This is the battle inside of the top 10. Of course, both O'Brien and Buckland want to get these mass overtakes made tonight. Of course, with them both starting down the order, they want to continue their runs inside of the top 10, especially for Buckland, the championship leader. But yeah, these guys are doing an incredible effort out there. Oh, apparently it was a 40-second penalty for speeding in pit lane.
Right. Oh, there you go. Oh.
But that's a very long... In. Well, he was going to have to have taken a 30-second stop, roughly 30 seconds, plus the 40 seconds. That actually adds up. The math adds up. So thank you, Roy. Appreciate it. And it was a penalty to Chris Blanchard. So we mentioned that a small mistake could go a long way as Kokoschki's in. Could go a long way, and that has cost, unfortunately, Chris Blanchard a possible top 5 here this evening.
Duddle really hassling the back of O'Brien at the moment, and Gary just sitting in the box seat at the moment. He's just seeing what's going on in front of him. Duddle's had a couple little lunges there, as you see Baxter, Galley in pits. Todd Duggan flashed in the red for a second there. Might have a bit of something going on. Abandoned pits. Oh, look at Gary. Wants it.
All over Dave Duddle as they run up the hill.
Crack at him then, but he just backed off just a touch, just to regain his composure.
It's interesting now to see how the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of strategy are going to play out tonight for some of these drivers.
Oh, Gary going for an inside run there.
He wanted it. Couldn't quite get it at Oak Tree, and that's ruined the run down the straight. We mentioned that the draft is not very strong here, but he could at least sit right behind David down the roller coaster and put some pressure on him towards turn 1.
Well, that's it. He's just putting that pressure on him, and he's going to notice. He's going to see that he's popping up up beside him, and it's just going to unsettle him just a touch. So it's going to take the focus away from him on O'Brien. So he's dropped that back to around about 0.4, 0.5. Can he re-engage O'Brien while Gary's engaging him in the rear? Closed right up. So Gary's got the pace. He just needs to make something happen here.
Oh, we had a big wiggle though. Big wiggle to Buckland through the final corner as O'Brien and Ron Allen are now in the pit lane. This battle's on. Important one to note as well, Brett. Bruce Tanek has now gone into the prospected first place on the order, thanks to his strategy compared to Stephen Kokoschki. So this has worked out well for him, but Kokoschki is chasing him down.
And fastest lap by Tanek. Yeah. 148.787.
He is pushing.
So he's on
that
a mission.
mag and turbo entry. He wants a race win this season. He's yet to take one this season. And for Bruce Tanek, he has driven exceptionally well in the early going of the championship, but he's not quite where he wants to be in terms of the standings, of course. This season as well, we are sitting at 4 different winners from 4 races thus far, Brett. So we could still get to 5 from 5 here this evening. Question is, will we hit that number? Now, the other one I want to ask you is, as well, let's say Kokoschki gets to the front end and gets past Bruce Tannick. If Kokoschki gets a points penalty, does it still count as a race win, or does it go to whoever's in P2?
Why is he getting a points penalty?
No, if he did. If he were to get one.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm trying to set up a scenario that if that does happen for whatever reason, because I have a feeling right now, Brett, that Tannick and Kokoschki are going to get into this thing because both of them are going to be a bit feisty for the race lead. If they ever coming together, and let's say that Kokoschki's the one that goes out the other side as the benefactor of getting a penalty, would he still be considered the race winner, or would it go to P2?
Oh, well, then we'll just have to wait and find out, won't we?
Yeah, we will. If that does happen. But currently, Kokoschki is chasing him down at a rate of knots. Pit stops coming in for Dave Duddle, Rick Viger. Roy Clark comes out of the race lead. Buckland now takes it over, but he still needs another stop. Right now, Halil Cesar is corrected P3, by the way, from that strategy that he'd been playing. He's come out in clean air, both stops, Brett. That's worked out very well for him after a very unlucky couple of weeks with some PC issues that's taken him out of the races before the end.
Yeah. It's hard. Roy Clark rejoining just in front of himself there. So he's on for a half-decent finish here as well. He's done very, very well.
Roy's had a fantastic race thus far.
Where he's come from. SDK, he's just having a bit of a connection.
He's gone to P9. Try reopening the link, Brett. That should sort it out because my timing's working again. So if you just reload the link, it should fix it up for you.
Thank you.
No worries. So Cesar's corrected P3, and I believe Ron Allen is technically corrected P4 as well. But look at the gap that he's got up to Cesar. It's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Cesar has gotten this car 10 seconds adrift to the next car on track. That's an unbelievable drive to this point. Yes, he's P3 and he's a world away from the front too, but if the scenario does come down to it and something happens, he'll be right there to pounce on it. He's sitting very clean right now. Kokoschki, by the way, fastest lap of the race, 148.42. He is muscling and pushing this thing to its limits to chase down Bruce Tannick at the front end of town.
Yeah. And look, like we talked about earlier, look at the Kofidis, Allen, Clark, myself, Burns, Viger, Weston. Look at that battle going on there between 7th and 14th. That's huge.
Absolutely huge. I mean, the fact that this battle is so close. Now, obviously, Kofidis still needs another stop.
Oh, wiggle.
There's a big wiggle there for Yusuf. Now, he does need another stop to get home. The cars behind him, though, they're all in the battle. I mean, you've got both Viger brothers in this. Look at Scott Weston, big old dive bomb towards turn 1. Couldn't quite get alongside under brakes. Now tucks back in behind Rick Viger, who's headed up by Chad. I don't know, Brett, how many times we've actually ever seen Chad and Rick on the same piece of track at the same time.
Yeah,
this is rare.
Yeah.
We hardly ever see them working together on track.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
It will be, indeed. We'll see if they can do it here tonight. But, I have a feeling that Kofidis is just holding this pack up a little bit now at this point. Maybe a little bit of a cork in the bottle, knowing that he needs that stop.
I was actually behind Kofidis a few laps back, but unfortunately I had a little bit of a lunge at him and got a little bit squirrely. Went off on the grass and unfortunately let Allen and Clark through. But it is what it is, and you get what you get and you don't get upset. And so, still in with the fight and enjoying being out there having a good old battle.
Well, this is a great battle down towards the roller coaster section as we're onto lap 25 now for the race leader who's just crossed the line. That's Gary Buckland down here at turn 1. He still needs that second pit stop. But this pack of cars behind the trees is really heating up now with Ron Allen challenging Yusuf Kofidis As we said, Corfidis needs to come into pit lane, so the real battle is on between Alan Clark, yourself, Brett, Paul Burns, the Viger brothers, and Scott Weston in behind. And this is a big train of cars battling for some good bragging rights here tonight.
Certainly, and we sort of like it sort of what do you call it, concertinaed or whatever, sort of closed up, and then someone would have a lunge as we see one of the Viger boys there having a bit of a crack.
That was Chad
on
Viger.
Burns. Yeah, Chad having a crack on Burns. Don't think he got it done.
Now, I just saw Ron Allen saying in the chat this was one of the fun parts of the race. Yeah. And I would say that this is probably the fun part because this pack is all on fresh tyres. They don't have to really save the tyres at this stage, and they're getting to have a good scrap. Good bunch of cars together, having a good battle on track, fresh tyres underneath them, different strategies have all come together. And this is what I love about strategic racing, Brett. You can have 3 or 4 completely different strategies, and after your 2 stops, somehow they all come together for the same destination. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's back on. Yeah, it's back on. Have a look at Kokoschki, though. Kokoschki's down to 0.2 behind Tanik. So he's closed that right up.
He has, indeed. So Kokoschki, who has set some incredibly quick lap times the last few runs across the strike, has now gotten himself right on the tail of Bruce Tanik for the race lead.
Oh, wiggle there. So Kokoschki's really having a crack here. Now he's dropped off a bit. He got that right up within 0.2, 0.3 of a second behind Tanik. He's out to about 0.6, 0.7 now. So he's probably just have to cool his heels for a second there.
I mean, this is just a hotly contested battle for the race lead, and at times, Brett, I've seen some races here at VIR where the race lead has gone on to run away and everyone else has kind of scrambled for position further down the order. It's very nice and refreshing to see a race here at VIR where at least the corrected top 2 in Tanik and Kokoschki are battling for the race lead as Chapo has come in. Thank you so much, Sean, for watching with us. Appreciate your time once again. We hope to see you again next week when we head out to Long Beach for the third street circuit, I should say, of the season. So I appreciate your time once again, and stay safe to you guys out there in Ukraine as well. So we're right on board with Tanik, who's starting to get pressured here from Stephen Kokoschki. Former race winner this season in Kokoschki, former race winner in Vets in Bruce Tanik. Which one of them can come out on top here at VIR? Only time will tell. Can Kokoschki get the run off of Oak Tree and pressure Tanik down at the roller coaster? He doesn't look close enough, Brett.
No, he got a good exit, but it's just not quite. He's starting to close up now, but he just didn't quite sort of close that gap as fast as he would have liked to initially to get that run on him. But he's down to 0.3, 0.4, so he's closed that by 0.2, 0.3 of a second from his last time around. So he might have that. He got a bit of a wiggle coming down here last time where he lost that time. So is he going to close up? Yes, he does. 0.3 now, 0.2. So he's got a bit of a run this time.
He does. I think from what we're seeing, Brett, and what I'm seeing, I don't know about you, it looks like the weaker spots around this place for Tanik are those sort of tighter and slower sections. So the run through Sector 1 and then the end of Sector 3. And for Kokoschki, he's stronger through those particular sectors where...
Close right up now.
Yeah, he's right on him. He is right on him. So I think the struggle of this early sector and that end sector, that's what's chewing into the time for Tanik. And I think if Kokoschki's going to set up a move, he's got to be right on the tail of Tanik, leaving the first sector. He's got to be on him up the hill towards Oak Tree, because that's going to be his best shout. He either has to make the move there, or he's got to do it at the roller coaster. To do that, he's got to be right on the bum of Tanik through here, and hanging on to him like glue up until that opportunity arises.
Just interesting watching the slightly different lines, though, too. Both of these drivers taking through some of these corners. Down to 0.2, 0.3 now, 0.2. So he's right up there. Can he do something in here? Closes right up under brakes.
He's right on him. He wants it on the inside. Needs to try and get the power down smooth. He got the power down well, Brett, and he's a lot closer than last time by. This could be the chance that Kokoschki needed to challenge for the race lead. Can he do it down the inside at the roller coaster? He doesn't want to dart out too early. Tanik covers to the inside, gives him a little door, puts him on the grass. Can he hang on? Kokoschki in the race lead, but
No,
a big
lost
lock-up. They're still side by side, and Tanik somehow takes it back.
Wow. Great attempt there, but he just couldn't pull the car up, and he was lucky to keep that car off the grass then. But he lives to fight another day. He's dropped it back 0.4 of a second off the back, 0.5, now to a second. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Hang on. What's going on?
So Buckland's into pit lane.
Yes.
So Buckland's into pit lane. So now this is the true race for the lead. With Tanik back in P1. So this is for the lead. This is possibly for the win with 11 laps to go here at VIR. On ANZAC Day, could you ask for any better moment for this to come for these two gentlemen to be racing? An Aussie versus a Kiwi on ANZAC Day. I mean, it's unbelievable that we can have this sort of storyline for the race lead here tonight.
Yeah, well, geez, that was close now. Kokoschki, is he going to just chill his heels for a second? He's still got 10 laps to go. I think the tyre deficit, what was the tyre deficit on Tanik to Kokoschki? I think Kokoschki had slightly younger tyres.
Kofeidis, sorry, he's just had an off track, so he's just given up position now to some of those cars. He's got to get this thing into pit lane and get the new tyres on it because they're starting to break away. Up to Oak Tree once again. Kokoschki nowhere near as close as last lap, but I think he's trying to carry more speed to get a better run down this straight possibly. He looks to be a little bit too far away this time by.
Yeah.
I don't think he can go for it on this lap.
No. He just probably needs to just chill for a lap or two, get the car cooled down for a little bit, and then gather himself back up. Car off.
That is Tony Chapman. That is Tony Chapman in the middle of the paddock off of the roller coaster. That car is parked up and not moving. Now, it is race control's discretion to call a safety car if they wish to. Do we think that's in a dangerous position, Brett? I don't know if it is, because that would be considered the offside of the circuit.
Well, we'll soon see. Jamie Peters in pit lane, and there he goes. He's towed, so we're clear. So we're close.
Peters into pit lane.
Yep, we're clear to race on again.
So now Cesar up into P3 as Tanik and Kokoschki continue this battle.
Kofeidis coming in pits
Kofeidis
coming in pits lanes as well. So that releases all those. Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out which ANZAC deliveries we haven't shown off just yet. I know we haven't spoken about the Infinity Motorsport one or the Shadow Racing one.
Kokoschki closed back up on Tanik.
But this battle's on for right now.
Yeah.
we might wait to see if this tightens up.
Yeah, he's let the car chill for a couple of laps here, so hopefully he's got it back underneath him. Can he do something this time around? We saw him attack him at the end of the long straight out of Oak Tree. Does he get the car close enough? He's 0.3. Gets a reasonable exit.
He is right on him. Here's Kokoschki. He's not as close as when he managed to get alongside Tanik.
But he's closing.
He is closing. He's probably within that draft range that he needs to be, which is half a second here at VIR. Has he got the pace, though, or the urgency to get past on the inside? No, not this time by. It was very lucky for the front runners that the safety car was not called. It must be said.
Tanik a little bit sideways
that was a big flick. A massive flick.
So Tanik's obviously, looking in his mirrors a bit and seeing Kokoschki there, and making sure he's trying to sort of get as much as he can out of that car, but he just got a little bit too much out of that car. And in doing so, he might be starting to slightly overheat the tyres just a touch. So this is probably falling into Kokoschki's hands at the moment. Closes the gap right up now. Tanik just wiggling that car a little bit through there.
He is all over him. He is Stephen Kokoschki. This battle for the race lead has gone on now for multiple laps, and it is still as intense as ever. And you have this feeling, Brett, that maybe what we spoke about, could it come to fruition? Because they're both racing incredibly intently. They had that little door down the back straight that put Kokoschki in the grass a little bit.
Can you see in the future? Oh, Rick Viger dropping and Buckland dropping.
Yeah. Both those guys.
And O'Brien got overtaken by Horsell.
I have to wonder if there might have been something that happened at turn one, but...
Yep. It's just too hard to tear away from
It
here.
is.
Burns also by Chad Vigo over top.
This is...
Here we go. Here we
He's on
go.
him. He's on him, Brett. Kokoschki's onto the outside line. Can he go for an over-under maybe to get a good run off the corner? Tanek runs a little bit wide, but a little wiggle from Kokoschki could ruin the run, but he's alongside off the exit. Too wide, down the backstretch. Can Kokoschki hang on to this to try and take the race lead from Tanek? It's going to be a last of the late breaking scenario, down towards the roller coaster. Who's going to outbreak who? They're side by side, door to door as they come through. Kokoschki and Tanek still side by side right now. Tanek wants to try and get this thing back past if he can. Aiming for the corner. They are on the hook. Tanek off the road. Kokoschki off the road as well. Side by side for 3 corners, and now we've got to look back. Is Tanek going to get on the road early enough before Cesar comes past him? There he is there.
And also Ron Allen Clark and
he gets
myself
it loose.
all sideways.
So Cesar gets past him.
Yeah. Ron Allen Clark and myself are having a ding-dong battle back here too. Chad Viger is about 3.5, 4 seconds behind. Weston Callahan dropped off. So that battle between all that big pack is sort of split up there. But this is on now between us three. It's a great little battle.
It is indeed.
I'd like to have seen a different sort of view of that Tanek and Kokoschki.
Well,
I
I'll tell you
couldn't
what we'll
quite...
be able to do, Brett, is we'll at least be able to watch that one back post-race. We may not be able to look at all the highlights, but we can look at that one. Because that is a race-changing one, it must be said. Because it's it's one that could affect the race lead. It could affect the winner tonight. We're 8 laps away from the end. Does Race Control A determine on it quick enough to give Kokoschki, if he's found at fault, a drive-through, or do they take it to the point that they give him a points penalty and he remains in the race lead position? This could be very interesting, because if that happens, would whoever's P2, either Cesar or Tanek, would they be... Oh, you see Tanek, he's angry. He is very angry that that's happened, and he is pushing that thing to its absolute limits. So whichever one of these two is in P2, if it is a points penalty, would actually get the most points out of VIR over the race leader. That's the question that has to be asked is, would Kokoschki be considered the race winner, or would it be the P2 finisher who gets the most points?
Questions need to be answered. Still this battle for 4th, 5th and 6th still going on pretty intensely back here.
This
is
one that's
Weston,
really heating
Callahan and
up.
Buckland.
Yeah. This one's heating up. Weston, Callahan, Buckland's heating up as well. O'Brien, Clifton, and Duddle as well, which is another one of those ANZAC Day liveries that are out there for 266. Nice looking car for those guys as well. Dave Duddle ripping that one. We've got a big pack back here with Blanchard, Boardman, Listener, Brooke, Lovegrove, Baxter, and Corferdis on the tail of this one as well.
Yeah, there's a few hot battles happening. Buckland closing on the back of Callahan for a second there.
Not quite close enough, though, to make a move.
No.
0.2 for those that may be wanting to understand a little bit better of the time differentials on the interview. 0.2 on the interval. 0.2 is around about what this gap is here between Corferdis and Baxter. It's around about half a car length. 0.1 is you're on their tail lights, and under 0.1 is you're alongside them. That's the
if you have a look at Clark
definition.
at the moment, Clark on the back of Allen. He's under 0.1, 0.2.
Yep. So that's about the difference. So it's less than a car length. 0.1, you're really getting down to, to tooth and nail sort of stuff, and then when you get to the hundredths, that's when it's very, very close in terms of an interval.
On lap 32 of 38 here, and still plenty of battles going up and down the tree, as we were saying. So it's just interesting to see. Tanek now back onto the back of Cesar.
So if Tanek could get anything out of this race, he would at least want to get back to P2. Can the season 24 champion hold him off, or is Tanek going to be able to get past? This is almost a... It's funny, we're going to Long Beach next week.
Clifton and O'Brien.
Well, actually, who's off track there? Someone's off track ahead. That's Nathan Favero. Nathan Favero's run it way wide at turn 1. Sorry, Brett. That car is long off. And he's just getting it back on circuit now. So, here's that Nathan said in the chat earlier, at least Tony got them some screen time. Well, Nathan took it upon himself to get some screen time as well, it seems. But yeah, that battle for P2's on. The battle for P3 or P4's on as well, with Allen, Clark and Fisher all involved. Buckland right on the tail of Callahan into turn 2. Yeah. So this is all happening. The fact this race has gone green flag the whole way doesn't somewhat surprise me, I must say. But I'm probably 50-50 on safety cars here, Brett, because of the fact that it is a paddock. There's not many close walls. No. The only real chance of a safety car is contact through the S's off of turn 5 or a blown engine. That's really the only chance we're going to get one. Buckland, though, right onto Callahan now up the hill. He's not quite there, though. He doesn't have the run that he would need. As Corfetus is off the road up at the roller coaster. Oh, sorry, no, that's turn 1. That's turn 1, not the roller coaster. I do apologise. Down at turn 1, Corfetus is off the road. They may determine it's a safe spot, though, because, again, he's on the off side of the circuit. He's not in the line of traffic. We'll see what race control says, but they didn't pull the trigger earlier on for Tony Chapman. They may not pull it for Yusuf Corfetus either.
Callahan on the back of Weston and Buckland again. Callahan looked like he had a little bit of a dive on Weston.
Well, you can see that he's just starting to get held up now. Is Daryl Callahan, of course, qualified P2 tonight. Struggled with race pace early, but he's got plenty of pace right now to challenge Scott Weston for P8 on the road. Buckland will be very, very happy with this performance. Up 10 into P10.
Allen and Clark doing the fastest lap of their race on lap 34 of 38. Buckland closing.
See as well, Horsell looking for the inside of Rick Viger. Couldn't quite get there. We have got 5 laps to go of this race. I'm always having to do the mental maths. Just add 1 to the total that you see. 5 laps left. Tight battles still inside of the top 20. I mean, look at this one. That's Mick Clifton trying to go for it there on Duddle. And there you see Jones. Little bit of a recovery drive tonight off of that mistake and contact on lap 1 at turn 2. But he is hot on the heels of this pack now to battle for this one.
I tell you what, looking at that top little pack there, Chad Viger's managed to claw his way back to the tail of myself. Oh, that's getting wild. Jones.
And how's... I mean, the question is now, Brett, now, we've gotten past the marker of possible poor tyre wear, right? Those drivers that had poor tyre wear, the bubble period was roughly between lap 20 and lap 30. We're past that point. Everyone should be on either 15-lap-old tyres or somewhat fresher tyres, depending on when they pitted. Yeah. So we shouldn't really be having any issues with tyre degradation right now, unless someone has been pushing it to its pure qualifying maximum throughout the race. Now, I know that the setup was a little bit looser this week, and that made some difficulty on heavier fuel loads. But ultimately, I don't think we should be seeing any poor tyre runs at this stage. Just a very quick one, because we are getting towards the end of this race. Do you want to just give us a little talk through of the Shadow Racing ANZAC Day livery, since you're the one that made it, Brett?
Yeah, just a simple, just honouring obviously our, the solid, the vets and everything like that. Just with the sunset in the background there, with the single soldier, just blending into the night on the top of the car, and with the poppies on the front of the car with Lest We Forget, with the ANZAC emblem on the bonnet as well. Just nice and simple. Nothing, I dropped a few of our normal sponsors just to clear up the paint, just to make it more about the ANZACs.
Very good. It's a good looking car as well, Brett. You've done well. So I do like it. It's a very, very nice effort. As Ron Allen and Roy Clark continue this battle at the moment for P4 honours right now. That battle for P2, by the way, stretched out to about 1.5 seconds. Yeah. So Halil Cesar has actually started to spread the legs now over Bruce Tannick. I think Bruce, from pushing, actually might have burned his tyres off a little bit. And that's allowed Cesar just to push on.
Well, I think, the battle between Kokoschki and Tanek obviously was pretty hot and heavy. And I reckon between that and obviously coming unstuck, that he's tried to sort of gain back that second position. He's just overcooked the car, and he's going to have to be sort of settled where he is, because the car's not responding as he probably would like. So yeah.
So, and I just thought as well, I'll just give a quick run through this, and we'll quickly get back to those battles, just to talk through the Infinity Motorsport ANZAC Day livery as well. So, as we did last year, we've gone for a white base. This time we went for black with some red accents as well. The Australian-New Zealand mirroring flags on either side of the car with the silhouette of the soldier, and then the silhouette of the soldiers in behind the ANZAC Day crest on the roof. As we always do, we have members of our family and our friends who have either previously served or currently serve as well. They ride on board with us. We don't even need the driver numbers of the cars either, as it's more about the ANZACs than about the driver for this round. So we've also got open arms on the front of our car as well, for similar reasons, as I would assume why EWT has it on their cars as well for this weekend too. So yeah, just a very quick one just to run through as well. Stephen Kokoschki leads the way by 10 seconds over Halil Cesar. It's in a further 1.2 seconds back to Bruce Tanek. Then we look back 10.5 seconds, and this hot battle pack for P4 continues on with Ron Allen, Roy Clark, Brett Fisher, Chad Weiger. And then we go a further 7.5 seconds back to Weston, Callahan, Buckland and Burns as they battle for the rear end of the top 10. Then a further 4.5 seconds back to Rick Weiger, Horsell, O'Brien, Duddle, Jones and Clifton, all involved in their battle as well.
Jones just got past Clifton about half a lap ago too, so he's moved himself up another spot. So he'll be happy to regain any points he can.
I tell you what, Ron Allen doing a great job right now to hold off this pack of cars 100%. Behind him.
Yeah,
a great drive for Ron Allen.
A fantastic battle, yeah. And even with Chad sort of closing up that gap, because he was a fair way back, and he's managed to close up that gap to myself. But I mean, we're just battling it out here, and we just you try and have a little bit of a lunge, but you just can't get quite close enough. And as you can see, like with those splits of those times, 49.9, 51, 50.1, 50.1, 50.4, all very, very close times. It only takes a slight, a bit of a lose in a corner, a little bit of a loss of grip, and you just lose the momentum. But then you can sort of half a lap, you can close that back up again. As you see, Weston and Callahan, I think that was changing
Weston and Buckland.
And
Weston,
back again.
Buckland and Burns.
Buckland, yeah, there you go.
So something's happening with those guys. This is really heated up between them now. Unbelievable stuff at this stage of the race. We're going to start thinking about some Driver of the Day nominations tonight, Brett. I've currently got 4 names actually. I have got 4 names.
Oh, there you go. You've got enough.
I do. I just wanted to know if there was anyone that stood out to you possibly that might be an option.
Not really, no. I mean, look, there's been some fantastic battling going all up and down, but nothing that's really sort of stood out in my mind. So yeah, I'm happy to go with what you've got tonight.
Okay, I might change one of them because 3 of them are together on track, and that doesn't really seem. I think we can highlight. There's another driver I just saw then that I thought, no, actually, you know what? They've actually had a pretty decent race thus far as well. So I have got 4 names, but I'm going to change one of them.
White flags out.
This one. White flags out though. Final lap for Stephen Kokoschki. And I'm hearing word from race control, Brett. Well, he hasn't done a drive-through, but he has got a points penalty coming off of this race. So there goes the real question. I don't know if we can claim we've got a double-up winner or if we've got a 5th new winner until we see Sim Racer Hub. Because it may determine that P2 Halil Cesar is the winner if he scores more points than Kokoschki does.
Yeah.
So we might have to wait and see on that one. So I can't call that stat just yet. Keep an eye on next week's race out at Long Beach, where we'll reveal if we have got a double-up winner or if we've gone 5 from 5 this season. Up to the oak tree for the final time, though, for Kokoschki. I mean, what a race. What a drive from Stephen tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, a bit of a sour moment with Tannic where they came together, but other than that, he's driven brilliantly. He's put himself up near the top of the list for championship contenders alongside Gary Buckland and Roy Clark and Chris Blanchard. Unfortunately for Blanchard, this is likely going to be a drop round for him tonight, being all the way down outside of the top 20. But for Kokoschki, it's not going to be. It's not going to be perfect points off of VIR for him, but it's going to be a great chunk of points and a return to form after a disappointing race at St. Pete last week. Up towards the line, and the master of Anzac Day, Stephen Kokoschki, will take home the chocolates at VIR as 38 laps done and dusted. Kokoschki, the race winner.
Nice one.
Halil Cesar, after some horrible runs the last few weeks due to PC issues, returns to the podium in P2 ahead of Bruce Tannic in P3, and Ron Allen is going to survive the onslaught of Roy Clark, although Brett Fisher has just jumped Roy Clark, who's run out of fuel. Unbelievable result.
Yeah, I believe that Roy Clark had an issue with with his rig and was stuck in a gear, I believe. So that's unfortunate there for Roy, but I'll take it anyway, and I'm sure Chad will take it as well. But yeah, no, that was unfortunate for Roy there.
Drive of the Day nominations are into the chat. Please get your votes in as quickly as possible. Halil Cesar, Ron Allen, Brett Fisher, or Mick Clifton. Get your votes in. I think Mick actually drove very, very well tonight, Brett, to survive some of the battling that he had out there. We noted him a couple of times, up 10 in the end and into the top 20.
Yeah.
It's a great drive from Mick, it must be said. So I wanted to highlight that one. And the fact that Roy Clark's shifter screwed him out of that top 5.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Roy's had to drop off now, and Roy, I think, will get another chance for Driver of the Day at some point this season.
Yeah.
The way he's driving, he's going to be up there. So who is going to be determined as best on ground for Anzac Day here in V8 Veterans? Well, Kokoschki, he took home P1 on the road, Brett, but Cesar is going to take home the most points out of VIR with a bonus point for leading a lap and then points for P2. It'll be 178 to the driver of the number 5 Mustang, with a minimum of 5 points given out for a points penalty, although that was a possible drive-through where the incident could be above that. That should mean that Cesar leaves this race with the most points on the board. Whether that equates to a win, I don't know.
Yeah, well, who knows? We'll soon find out. But yeah, that's... Oh, geez.
I think he's trying to let the traffic pass to get a burnout made for this return to the podium.
Yeah. What a race, though. Like, I mean, same again. It was pretty intense there towards the end there. You know, and there was a great battle we've seen with Kokoschki and Tannic, and it's unfortunate that someone had to lose out of that battle. It would have been great to see, you know, them battle right to the end and with a clean pass. But these things happen. This is what racing is. Still been very entertaining race here tonight. There's been plenty of action happening on track.
It was indeed. Apparently, Roy Clark had 0 incidents.
Yeah. He did mention that in the somewhere I did hear.
Kind of feel bad now taking him off the I kind of feel bad now taking him off the nomination list. I literally made the choice as you passed him on the line, Brett. I made the choice then and there.
Yeah.
Well, what I can say is it's currently tied up. So I'm gonna put out there 3 names to re-vote upon to split the tie.
Says is obviously very happy with his finish there.
He is. Okay. New list. Hello, Connor Nixon into the chat with us. Ron Allen, Roy Clark, or Brett Fisher, because Ron and Brett tied. We're going to have a tiebreaker. Votes after that one will determine who it is. So get your votes back in again, please, if you did vote. There's a new 3, Roy, Ron and Brett for driver of the day. As it pulls it up. Now, the moment I want to go back to, Brett, is I think the one that we know about is the Bruce Tannick moment that got us to him dropping out of the race lead and obviously into P2. So this was from the outside view, the chopper cam. So you see there, Tannick's kind of in the middle of the track. Kokoschki's aiming for the corner. So there could be space left from Tannick if he aims for the corner, but also, you know, there could be questions asked there of, was there enough space left and stuff like that.
Wow.
I suppose they may determine it as Kokoschki hasn't completed the move, so he's not far enough up, and he's kind of turned into him before the corner, so I don't know.
Wow. I don't know. Look, I'm not in race control, but that's, I don't know.
It's a tough one.
I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to sit on the fence in that one. I'm not going to call that, but
I don't blame you. It is a very tough one.
Yeah.
That changes up the race.
Because I mean, like, where was play it again. Can you play it again?
Yeah.
Because then, so like, I mean, I'm not going to, like, what I can't see, at some point, Steve's got to turn in.
He does.
At some point, he's got to turn in.
He does, but so does Bruce as well. At some point as well. So that might be the question that's asked.
See, Kokoschki's was up on the inside of him there, so he's got a right to be there.
He's turning in now, which is when he turns into the rear wheel of Tannick, and then Tannick goes off. Yeah. I find that very, very hard. It's a very tough one. I think you can make arguments it's a racing incident more than anything, because Bruce has to eventually turn into the corner. He's not turning in, and Stephen has to turn in at some point, or he goes off in the grass. So then that's where the contestiveness comes in. But Stephen is the one that caught. You know, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, because if I say too much more, you know, But
it's contested. It's a very contested one, it must be said. Nonetheless, we have got a driver in the waiting room, and it is P2 in Halil Cesar. So we'll drag him in for a very quick chat here. Welcome in, Mr. Cesar. A return to the podium for yourself on ANZAC Day. Congratulations after a poor run of luck over the last few weeks with some PC issues that finally held up this week. Got you on the podium and some good points on the board as well.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Sorry I sound a bit tired. I've had 1 hour sleep and been at the track since 8 o'clock in the morning, so I only just got home about an hour and a half ago. So, it was a good race. Having to do my BIOS update, which sort of sorted that PC issue, but yeah, I was really grateful that the race went the way it did. We didn't really have the pace with the guys ahead of us. Qualifying pace wasn't too bad, but strategy is always the key, and hitting out those set numbers that I always talk about each time I get a podium, and good, the results that come with it. So sitting around those, mid to 40, basically anything around 49 would have got you a decent result, I believe, anyway.
Well, I mean, solid points on the board. Obviously, Long Beach next week, a track that you've won at before. Does this performance now give you some confidence going back to the streets of Long Beach next week that maybe you could go back to back at that circuit in terms of race wins?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't, how can I say it to you, like, I would love to win another race there. I do enjoy the track. But honestly, like, from seasons that we've been there with the drivers that we've got this year, like, just, to name a few, like Jones, you got, Bruce is driving really well. Like, it was unfortunate that the race was what it was. I mean, if my opinion on it, like, I mean, as a driver, you try to hold your line as long as you can. It's pretty much all I can see what Bruce was doing. Like, he was trying to play it smart that way. But with all that said, I mean, you got to play it smart, right? You got to turn in eventually yourself to sort of stop that from happening, because it's going to happen at some sense, But look, these guys at the front of the field for this round especially, they were miles ahead. So, I mean, it's hard to say too, because Jonesy was taken out early in the race, or the incident that happened. Yeah. So, I mean, it's very unfortunate. in my opinion, I think Jones is probably the one to watch seasons to come if he doesn't get up through split 2. But I mean, every year, every season we do, it just gets harder and harder. Like from the time I've been part of it to the time I've won it, there's guys that, you know, they were midfield or whatever now are, at the pointy end or inside the top 10. Like Roy's having a cracker year. So, as well as Brett, like this round, like good result for you, mate. Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
so
it was,
happy
yeah.
for you, So
Well, I was gonna say to you, mate. It's a different dynamic, isn't it? I mean, the racing has got so much closer. I mean, obviously you got things that happen on track and take people out of place, like you mentioned Jones and things like that. But the whole field, like you say, you've probably got about 4 or 5 guys that are of the exception to the rule. But then the rest of the guys is so much closer. It's so much more intense racing, and it's so tight out there. You can be, top 10 and then you could be down, in the 20s, like, and it's not through any fault of yourself. It's just everyone has got so much faster.
yeah, 100%, mate. Like the way I look at it as well, in the season that, as an example, the season I won it, we had 5 or 6 guys that I clearly was, looking out and around and going, right, that's my bunch that I'm sort of, let's say that I'm in that little bubble for that period. And then you got guys like, from behind us, they're in their little bubble, and then you got that other bubble and the other bubble. Like it's so tight and it condenses throughout the years that, like through the splits that we do, through the season, sorry. And it's gotten even tighter now. Like, I mean, you look
Yeah.
at guys, for instance, that are from P10 down to, let's say, top 20, right? As an example. So from P1 to top 20. I mean, at any given stage, any of those guys can have a really good result, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it all just comes down to like everyone gotten better. So I think as season 28 will come around, I think guys that are like sitting in, like, for instance, like Roy Clark, if he keeps the momentum going, people in that sort of caper where they were inside, 15th or something, finishing top 20s, and then all of a sudden they're where they are now. I mean, it's probably going to bring other people to that level. So then season 28 is going to change again. So I think as what I see with vets, especially in split 2, if you put in the time, I think the results come. But I think in general, everyone's just getting better. And I think adapting to these cars too. I mean, the setups have been like we've been critical about them. There is ways of driving around them, but I mean, from when we've raced at tracks and we've had updates, so I guess you can't sort of sometimes put an exact point why the setups are different. So like when we've raced at where was it? I think I'm so tired. I'm sorry, but there was a round where
It's all right.
I've looked at it and gone, we raced here not long ago. The setup was great. Don't understand why, but then I was like, well, we've had 3 major updates like to the game, and it's changed everything. So it changes the way that setup would feel. But I think everyone's just adapting to these cars, to be honest. Like they are hard to pass, but if you get a run, honestly, like look as an example, Steve, he just had to bite his time coming out of that oak tree. I was finding through oak tree, I was making a lot of time on everyone, or if when I was defending Bruce, for instance. So I was just getting that line right, and you can place the car in a position where I believe if you're in that like half a second, you do get draft. It doesn't mean that it's going to be like the Gen 2 cars, but you got to race smart. You got to think corners ahead, laps ahead, and position the car accordingly to what you think's going to happen. A couple of laps from where you are now.
Well, Halil, before we let you go, we're going to put a very important power in your hand because we've tied again somehow, Brett. So, Halil, out of Ron Allen and Brett Fisher, who do you think deserves Driver of the Day more so than the other?
So, have we given the both awards out yet?
What do you mean? Like, have we given it to 2 people before?
Yeah.
We have this
in
season.
the one round?
Yes, we have.
Bugger. Why do you have to do that to me?
I'll save you, Cesar. We'll give it to Ron Allen.
Okay.
I'll vote for Ron Allen.
I would have went with Brett, but look, Ron.
Yeah, no,
I think Ron's had a great drive this round as well. He's actually a couple of good rounds. So he hasn't had too bad results. So look, he's on the up, and I think one to watch. But it's a tough one, guys. But yeah, well done to him.
Well done, Ron. And thanks everyone for putting your vote forward for myself too. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I think Ron had a great run.
He did indeed. Well, hello, we appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming over to chat to us once again. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, everyone in the split 2 and everyone in all the other splits. We, you know, these sort of ANZAC days actually make it a bit more importance to what we do, or our existence as an example. So the title sponsors basically Racecraft, Jamie for the setups, the vets community, basically, I'll start with our sponsors. So I'm so sorry, I'm so tired. Blackheart Designs, Infinity Broadcast, Watto Mechanical, and if you're out there listening to this, Watto, I hope your door's okay today when I tap the shit out of it. So, minor sponsors, my major sponsor, Cooler Master as well, and our minor sponsors, Motorsports Parts Australia, iRacing World Challenge, VRS. And again, all my teammates and you guys at the broadcast, you're doing an absolute cracker job. And everyone have a great night.
Thanks so much, Halil. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on your podium once again. Best luck next week out at Long Beach as well. Halil says a P2 here this evening. And congratulations as well to Ron Allen on winning the Driver of the Day award here this evening. Well, Brett, there's only one more thing or two more things for us to do heading into next week. We obviously get to look forward to next week's race when we head out to the streets of Long Beach once again, where chaos can ensue. It's always exciting for me when we get to go to Long Beach. I hope it's exciting for you too. You can see all the action next Saturday evening live, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, right here on Infinity Broadcasting and the V8 Veterans YouTube channels as well. Be sure to hit the like button to subscribe. The bell icon as well to both channels to help us get to our next goals of subscriber counts for the V8 Veterans channel. You'll be notified whenever you get the Split 2, Split 3 or Split 4 action. And for Infinity Broadcasting, you get notified for the Split 2 action as well for High Side Motorsport to go racing on Monday morning, 9:50 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Las Vegas 150 this upcoming Monday morning as well. Go help support SimSpeed TV by clicking like, subscribe and bell icon as well so you can catch the live Split 1 action on Thursday evenings at 8:30 p.m. For myself, Hamish Munro Brett Fisher alongside. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your effort being here with us once more. A shout out to the series sponsors, of course, title sponsors, Racecraft Simulations, to Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu, Player One Sim Gear, Nova Sim Sports, Project Fade, Streetwear, LGC Images, and M1 News Cars for the Driver of the Day award. This time it went the way of Ron Allen. Next time it could go to you, Brett. There's only one more thing to do, my friend, and that is to play us out with the Hype Up song. Thank you all so much for joining us once again. We'll see you guys next week out of Long Beach. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Right, everyone, get your headphones cranked all the way up. This one's a ripper. Catch us later. Have a good one.
Metal twisting, free Brett swinging like street fighters bleeding, Brook and Buckland hunting, early Kakash get thrown straight into the wall. Chapman's pole turned into pressure, Parker melting down in a mid-race brawl. Every mistake has teeth, every corner draws blood. You don't race VIR, you survive it. Welcome to the forest fight, where the shadows hit harder than the walls at night. Grip goes missing, heartbeat spiking, one wrong breath and the car starts biting. This is VIR, no mercy, no rescue. If you blink for a second, VIR will break you. Pressure rising, engine screaming, champions forge where the brave stop dreaming. While the brave stop dreaming. Buckland and swinging, standing, shifting, Blanchard bleeding, points in the dark. Kokoschke chasing redemption, Roy Clark climbing like a spark. Horsell charging, Taylor lurking, Fisher fighting through the fire. Three Bretts in the same damn split, only one climbs higher. This ain't clean, it ain't pretty, it's elbows out in a forest city. Brake markers vanish, tires scream, every lap feels like a fever dream. Hamish calling chaos, you laughing through the pain. Infinity broadcasting, pouring fuel on the flame. Welcome to the forest fight, where the brave get broken and the weak take flight. Throttle pinned, fate twisting, every heartbeat, every instinct listening. This is VIR, the track that hunts you. If you hesitate once, VIR will cut through. Pressure rising, engines screaming, champions forged where the brave stop dreaming. Where the brave stop dreaming.
With lines screaming, tires bleeding, virtual cubes, the motors breathing, engine thunder from down under, listen fire, turn asunder, put your name in lights. Oh, with the vets tonight, it's a 1,000 decibel super curve fight, burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Oh, you're so steel, but the racing's real. Pedal down every pass you feel. Step right up and place your bets. This is us, the V8 vets. Put your name in lights. Put your name in lights with the vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel super curve fight. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Put your name in lights. Oh, with the vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel super curve fight. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Burn this track to the ground. Come on now, put your name in lights.
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In the sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's just say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Rackraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.